boys in blue are back.
Back!
We're back, baby!
Yelinich, he finishes that shot! And another save! Matt Freeze!
Welcome to another episode of the City Boys.
Welcome to another episode of the City Boys. I'm Javier. This is Danny.
What is up? What a time to come back.
What a horrible time to come back. I know we've been gone for a while. We had some family situations we had to deal with.
We had some family issues. We had to go to Colombia.
Yeah.
Look at you with that nice tan.
I'm mad. Yeah, I look like Aladdin. I get too dark. I get too dark during these times.
Bro, but you know what? I'm the opposite. I didn't get any tan whatsoever. You know why? I use that SPF 10,000. I ain't trying to get sunburned,
bro. You use SPF 10,000 and you was red as a tomato, bro. We're not from the same parents, bro, because it just doesn't make any sense.
No one believes that we're brothers. Every time we meet people, they're like, you guys are really brothers? I thought that was a whole thing.
Yeah. But
wait. Before we leave, I know you already want to jump into the game. I realized that we got a problem.
What's our problem?
Just like NYCFC, we got lack of depth. We got family issues. You and me, we're both out of game. We need some subs, homie. So you got two other brothers.
Veterans, way better than us. I want veteran guys. I want Ian Paul Joy to take over the show when we're gone.
No, I want the opposite. I want two brothers who barely know any soccer and also are even less charismatic than us. That'll replace us long term. We just need like
two guys that know less soccer than us. It's gonna be a hard find. It's gonna be a hard find for that, bro.
But was taking applications because when there's a family issue, we're both gone.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
We're back,
guys,
we're back,
and it's a busy season. It's a busy month. It was gonna be way busier.
Yes,
and
lots of Wednesday games.
No, then NYCFC ruined it.
That's true.
The greatest tournament Open Cup. we were in it. We were gonna win it. It was our season. NYCFC 1 was back. We had the magic of NYCFC 2 last year. We were hyped. We were excited. Remember we were mad hyped about that. They played with heart, that team.
Yes. That's the exact opposite that happened here. We just heard it in the press conference right before we got live, talking to Jansen, and he said, what do you think was like the biggest problem? I don't exactly remember the exact question, but it was like, what did you find the issue of the team? And it was urgency. He was like, it's really funny. We played with zero urgency until we went down a man. And I was shocked. And I'm talking for Jansen. Jansen was shocked.
Jansen looked pissed.
He looked furious.
Game. He looked upset. And then in that press conference, it was cut short. We don't know why it was cut short. There was like maybe 3-4 other people who wanted to ask questions.
Yes.
But it got cut short, and there was probably a reason it got cut short. Either he was pissed or something happened.
Jansen's about to sign 20 people tomorrow, bro. He's like, this team is trash. And you know who did have a great game? Justin Hack. Our captain.
I know, they named him How did you feel about that?
Well deserved, homie. Well deserved. And he played like a captain today. I see we have we have a special guest here. I don't know if he's available. You here?
JR, are you here right now? JR's in the stream with audio only. JR said, I'm not doing the video. Your videos always lag, JR, anyways.
You know what I love about JR? My man loves to talk about the team when they're terrible. So this is a great
JR has great points when the team is terrible. He goes ham on this team. Please, JR, if you're still there, talk, because we definitely got to hear you.
I didn't watch a single minute of the game. I'm not going to lie. I just wanted to hear what happened. I'm very happy about that decision, too, by the way. I'm very, very happy.
Wait, why are you happy about that?
Because it was a terrible game. What do you mean?
Oh, I thought he was happy that we lost.
Oh, no.
No. Yo, come on. What's this game?
You really didn't miss.
Watch that.
Yeah, you really didn't miss much.
You know how I knew it was a good game not to watch is that we have a Blue City Radio group chat, and about 70 minutes into the game, the only positive thing I saw in the text was Mike Allen go, "Great save by Romero there." I'm like, that's not what you want to hear when you're up against a USL team 70 minutes in.
And I guess that's kind of my huge gripe with this team. Like, I get it. They had 5 defenders in the back. They were playing very defensive. But we said these wingers were great. When we saw all these young, talented wingers. And we still say to this day, we're stacked at wingers. I don't know if we're stacked at wingers.
Yes.
And when Alonso Martinez is on the pitch, nobody else could do anything.
And my thing is, I also felt like Alonso Martinez. No. Like, you would think. I know they were intentionally playing back. They were waiting for them to mistake so they could play the counter, right? But all we needed was one of our players to get past one of their defenders, right? So then you have to pull in more defenders. Then you break that back line. No one on our team, except for Alonso Martinez, has the ability to do that, to go on a one-on-one opponent, which you think is crazy because this isn't another MLS team. This is, I would say a tier 2 team, and that they're not able to get past these defenders is kind of mind-boggling to me. Where's the talent?
Yeah, and I kind of want to. I wish we had it. We didn't have enough time to look this up. Like, look up the salary of NYCFC versus this USL team. Let's look at these wingers that we say are so dynamic. In Julian Fernandez, who kind of played that 10 role a little bit this game, but wasn't very effective to my liking. And then he has a huge opportunity towards the end of this game to score a goal, and nothing happens.
Bro, his right foot doesn't work except for running. My man cannot kick with that right foot.
No, and that's one of the things, I don't know if you saw, but I think Matt Doyle was complaining about Julian. There was a play last week against Cincinnati where he kind of could have pushed forward to the right-hand side. Tavon was like more towards the inside of the box, and he chose not to. And I think it just goes to show he's uncomfortable with that right foot.
Yeah.
He does not want to cross that ball. He doesn't want to have to do anything with that right foot.
Yeah.
Which is a problem.
It is.
But then you see the goal he has. So he can score goals, but it's just like everything else, I don't know if it's there. And we got to give Ojeda a little bit of credit because the ball that was dished to Julian this game was a perfect ball. All Julian had to do was finish with his right foot. And he didn't do it.
That's true. And I mean, I would give credit to Julian for that play, but Julian also played the rest of that game. And we didn't see much from him on that side as well. Really, I think our best player on one-on-one play, or maybe 2-on-1, was Justin Hack. Justin Hack was out there, and they were pressing him, and he was able to distribute the ball. I kept thinking throughout this game, you put Justin Hack as striker, we might get a goal. and not only because Justin Hack was actually playing really well with the ball, but on top of that, our game plan, which I don't know if it was Jansen's game plan or not, but was to cross the ball. For the first 50, 60 minutes, it was like, all right, we can't really execute against this back line because Maxi's not here, so we can't find the open spaces. So I'm going to cross it in there and hope for the best. We have zero, I'm not going to say zero, we have very little aerial attack on it. Like, if you think about who can attack aerially on our team, if that's even a real word, you got Pereira, kind of. You got Parks, and you got Justin Hack. I think those are our only aerial attacks. And so you're crossing in there, but to who?
Yeah.
And you saw that. You saw multiple opportunities where it would go pretty close to the middle of the box, and there was no one there to do anything with it. And Pereira did have one chance. He almost scored that goal. That goalkeeper actually played really well for the Pits.
Yeah.
I don't know the real name. I'm going to call him the Pits from now on.
No, and we also got to give credit to Romero. Because Romero, I thought, had a solid game as well. Because there was chances they had that he had 2 good, really solid blocks for us.
Yes.
Which kept us in the game.
Yes.
And I think we got to go back. Let's take some fan comments here. For the people on Instagram, it's hard for me to see your comments. So if you want to go and join the chat, join on YouTube or Twitter, it's a lot easier. Somebody said I'm looking at the Instagram right now just to give some love. Prilla said, "Let's go Knicks."
Yeah, bro. The Knicks were down 12 when this game ended, and then they ended up winning the game.
Oh,
insane.
Somebody looked up the salary. I don't know how true this is, but Torres says $79K versus our $2.5 million.
Insane.
RJC said, "Time to liquidate the club." But you know what's so crazy? Everybody was feeling a little optimistic. We just beat one of the hottest teams in MLS in Cincy.
Yes.
But we also have to realize that while we beat that team, we had so many opportunities that we missed that game. Like, we should have won by maybe 2-3 goals, even though Matt Free saved us a bunch of times. but yet we were like stringing the right passes together, but then our final third sucked, and our final third continues to suck.
No, I mean, I would disagree and agree with you at the same time. First, we gotta take this game with a grain of salt. Remember, Munsef Bakra was playing striker. I don't know what's up with that man, but he is absolutely horrific. And when, you know when you like, there's somebody you know in general, and you just hear their voice and it just makes you cringe and you just can't listen. This is how I feel about Munsef when he's on the pitch. When I see him come on, I'm just cringing the entire time, homie. And Munsef had an opportunity as well and didn't really do anything in that position. So I just like to
Johnson
point him.
said he was probably one of our only guys who actually shot the ball.
Well, no, he was the only person who had a shot on target in that first half. That didn't mean he was a good player. He was not. And I would take this with a grain of salt. We didn't have Maxi Morales. We didn't have Keaton Parks.
Yeah, we
didn't have Alonso Martinez. And I think I left last game very happy. I left this game extremely disappointed. And I actually was disappointed even in the Toronto. So I want to talk about it when we get there, when we talk about Cincy. But I thought this team, although not the same players, had very similar attributes to the Toronto game, right? I think what we did against Cincy was we had a team that we said we're going to press really high on, and we're going to live off those mistakes and work off those mistakes. And they were not only be able to make, they had a really effective press, but at the same time, they were able to actually move the ball around and find good opportunities. It hit the crossbar a lot of times last game. Versus Toronto in this game, you saw teams that were much more defensive, and we didn't know how to get the ball past the back line.
Yeah.
And I think that's scary. Is like if you keep finding teams like this, these teams where they're going to play defensively, what are we going to do?
Yeah. Well, we got to give credit to Ojeda, though. I think Ojeda did have one of his better games. One of his shots actually hit the crossbar, and it was actually one of his more dangerous shots. He had that cross to Julian Fernandez. So I feel like I've been critical of all our wingers, other than Hannes Wolf maybe, because he's had the most consistent minutes and has been one of our most consistent wingers. But Julian, and then we could go back and forth about Julian. I think we have a guest here who feels very strongly about Julian. Michael from Blue City Radio, what is going on? How you been?
Yeah, what's going on? I got to ask you, I'm surprised you guys haven't mentioned the defense yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be left to desire on the defense, too.
Burke Risa had a terrible game.
And it wasn't even Burke Risa. We could talk about Tana, too. Tana had just an equally as terrible game, and he's one of the main reasons we didn't. I think we're talking so much about the offense is because we were playing a USL team, and I feel like we give way too much credit to these wingers who haven't proved anything, and that drives me crazy. I don't know. How do you feel, Mike?
No, look, I mean, obviously, Fernandez signed his own fate with that miss late in the game. It's as simple as that. You got to finish at that level. You got to finish.
No, agreed. And what are your biggest concerns, Mike, what you saw from the defense throughout this game?
Well, Tanasiewicz was just poor. He kept making bad decisions. He and Risa just looked like they haven't. One of the things that I thought all season is if Risa and Tanasiewicz are the backups, then when the team is playing an 11v11 scrimmage, then the starters are playing against Risa and Tanasiewicz most of the time, right? Because Matt is playing with the twos. So if Risa and Tanasiewicz are playing that poorly, no wonder the attackers think they're great, because they're playing against these other guys, and that's the part that is just so frustrating. Is that you can't. Once we got a real good look at Tanasiewicz for what did he make it? He survived 79 minutes or 82 minutes of the game. It was just clear why he wasn't playing and why Justin Hack is starting over Burke Risa. So that's my biggest thing. Like, I thought Cavallo did fine on the left side. Tavon Gray is solid. He did what he could. And I agree with you guys. The attack was just really poor.
Yeah. And I just so curious on what happened to Burke Risa. Like, Burke Risa
His decline was sharp.
It was very sharp
because he was. I mean, if you think about it, all of last season, him and Thiago Martins had that chemistry, and they were fine.
I mean, we had like the least amount of clean sheets. I think. I don't know if this is true, but I think we probably had less clean sheets than we did any other season. And we had one of the better goalkeepers. But I'm wondering if just the way we played last year, it was easier to hide Risa's flaws, and now we're seeing who his true colors. I'm not sure.
Let's not forget, Risa lost his starting position at the end of last year to Justin Hack. So the writing was already on the wall under Nick Cushing in the playoffs. Justin Hack was starting over Burke Risa.
True.
That is a very good point.
But we were. I think at the end, he have a lingering injury. I thought there was something along the lines with an injury, or that's what Cushing was telling us. Was that the truth? I don't know. We know Cushing, but I like.
Well, thanks for letting me vent for a little bit. It was frustrating, and I really wanted to ask Pascal this question in the press conference, but obviously we didn't get any opportunity. How do you treat this game as the coach of such a young team? Because again, you took off your veteran talent with Maxi Morales and Thiago Martins. So now you have a very young squad. The coach could go in heavy with them and be like, hey, you know what, you guys suck. You guys didn't do well enough. Or he could sit there and be like, hey, you guys are young. We'll take it as a learning opportunity. That's what I'm curious to hear what he has to say about it.
I don't know. I saw him on that sideline, and he did not look happy. And even in that press conference, I don't think he was mincing his words. So I think he's not going to be very.
Because I think maybe the talent wasn't as strong, but you would think when you don't have such a talented team, you would have a team that's playing with urgency. And I felt like for the first 60 minutes of that game, our team was like, we are an MLS team. We are entitled to this win, and they were playing much more casually. I felt like I was watching a Sunday league game or a weekend league game versus the team that we saw against Cincy. Even if it wasn't the same players, you know what I mean? Just the type of effort from our team.
Which is different than what we saw last year with that NYCFC 2 team, which is kind of what we loved about that. Like, we loved that we were giving these guys chances, and they were going after it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we saw that much this game.
I think the one thing that I thought, and watching this game, was Justin Hack looked like the only guy who felt confidence, who said, hey, I'm going to beat whoever man I'm up against.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No one else seemed to have that confidence where they would turn and say, like, this guy plays for the USL. He's not going to make. He's not on my level. So I'm going to take. I'm going to just defeat him and make a run at him and make the play. Everyone else was intimidated by the USL squad.
That is so true. Yeah. That is so.
Corey says the young DP roster experiment needs to end this summer. Goodbye to Fernandez, Ojeda, and Bakrar. Not young. Just. I kind of agree. I mean, I just wish we saw more from these guys. Like. I thought these guys were going to propel us to be that team that we thought we were going to be. Like, we were going to have these dangerous attackers.
Damn, you let Mike go before. I mean, Mike left because we were repeating ourselves by this point. He has better things to do. I want to ask him his Bronx cheer, Bronx jeer.
Oh, shit.
But that's okay. But, and if you guys don't know, that was Mike. Blue City Radio.
Yes, make sure you listen to them.
Podcast.
I mean, they know them way more than they know.
Yeah, they do, but just in case, listen. And I'm assuming his Bronx cheer was Justin Hack. Bronx jeer, I don't know. Everyone else.
Facts. Do we have anything else about this game that we want to go over? I just want to add to Herman, we should leave Bakrar and PA.
This is true, bro. I don't think the Pits would even take him at this point. Bro, I can't with him. I can't. Well, I think just one more thing here, and I think Mike touched on it, but I think we should touch on it, is we've talked about this in the past, but you see it, is like the lack of depth on this team. Like, if we really think about it, Maxi not being on the pitch is something that probably is going to happen later in this season. That he's been able to play so many minutes for so many games has been interesting. Having, injuries in that back line have been pretty consistent, in our previous seasons. And my thought is, like, we need depth. Like, this is very concerning if this is the team that plays when our starters get injured.
Yeah. No, I agree. One thing I will say that we didn't give him credit, but I thought Jonathan Shore might have been one of those Bronx cheer guys that you would say, Jonathan Shore was all over the ball. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't think we've given enough credit, but he was one of those guys where you just see him and he's a magnet to that ball. Like, everywhere the ball is, he's at. And he's fast and he brings a little something. And I think he felt like this game, because there was no Parks out there, because there was no Maxey, he kind of took it on his own and was like, I'm going to be the guy then today. Yeah. And I thought he did pretty well.
I agree.
So that's a positive. If we're going to take some positive. Pereira, I thought, played pretty decent too.
I thought so too. I think the midfield was probably our best group of guys.
But the midfield, but we still couldn't attack centrally for some reason. Like, I still feel like we couldn't.
Who are we going to give the ball to? Munsif Bakra?
You're being harsh.
Look at that.
Johan says Bakra played? Question mark. Harsh.
Bro, I can't with them. I'm done. I'm done mincing words of Munsif. I think we've given him enough of a leash.
Yeah, though I'm just sad that we don't get that Open Cup magic. I'm mad that the Open Cup magic happened on us. I think we were the first team to be eliminated from the MLS side.
Yes.
And to add to that, we were the lowest seeded team as well.
Yes. Now the Pits haven't won the last 3 games, haven't scored a goal in their last 2 games.
Damn. And they're 6th in their USL ranking.
Yeah.
-3 goal differential.
These dudes.
What are we doing?
Bro.
I'm going to go on a Taylor. What are we doing?
Bro, USL has Pro Rel now. They're going to get relegated. And they still beat us. I don't want to leave this game because I'm sure everyone else joined to vent about this, but I think we got to talk about Cincy a little bit because we missed this.
Everybody's done with Cincy. Nobody wants to talk about the positive anymore.
We can tie it to this game a little bit.
All right, tell me how we're going to tie it into this.
I think somebody who had a better performance today, or it was just so solid that you don't really talk about it, is Tavon Gray. So Tavon Gray's been back for 3 games, right? He played against Toronto, he played against Cincy, he's played today. And what I loved about Tavon Gray against Toronto was we saw Tavon Gray being like that last level of defense and doing Tavon Gray things, you know what I mean? Clearing the ball, making sure we didn't get any goals. There was multiple times where that game could have not ended with a clean sheet, and Tavon Gray saved the day. And it was like, wow, I forgot how strong Tavon Gray was on defense. And then you see him against Cincy, and my man is overlapping, making chances on that right-hand side, had some beautiful crosses throughout that game. And you're like, oh, yeah, he can also play offensively. Yeah. And I just thought he was so good against Cincy. And offensively, it's still solid defensively. And it just shows that, this guy has grown into, the full package. And unfortunately, there was no one there to beat his cross. I thought about this during the Cincy game. He had so many beautiful crosses against Cincy that I was like, yo, if Tati was here, my man would have 27 goals.
We're always on Tati memory lane, bro.
Bro,
we can't get over
Is there anyone else who was better aerially on our team ever in our history?
He was a beast.
Well,
Callens was always somehow had a header, too. He was amazing. I don't know how. He always found himself. He wasn't even supposed to be there, Callens. But yeah,
he had a solid performance again today.
I think that's a great conversation to have, though, because we've given Micha a lot of love. Mm-hmm. And then when Tavon comes back, it feels great to have Tavon back. One thing I like about that right side, those right backs, there's competition.
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
And just like Mike was saying earlier, when our offensive guys are going against our center backs who are backups, are they really competing against anybody tough?
Yeah.
If we're seeing Tana struggling, if we're seeing Reese is struggling, but on that right back, there is competition. And that's what you like to see. You want him to see going back and forth. Micha having a great game. Tavon having a great game. And then on left back, we don't really have that either. I mean,
Cavallo's been solid.
Yeah, but he's young.
Yes.
So I don't think we've seen enough from Cavallo to really compete with Kevin O'Toole. Now, are we going to have to see Cavallo more because Kevin O'Toole, first his work rate, how much minutes he's been getting? Yeah, we're probably going to have to see Cavallo more. But I like that there's competition at a spot. And I think competition is good. Like, look at our striker. We don't have competition at striker.
No.
It is Alonso Martinez, and it's his spot. Buntsev is not competing for that at all.
Yeah, agreed.
And that frustrates me. Well, this is going to get back to Open Cup. Why are we not getting our best players out there? We say we care. I hate this conversation because this happens every time. We care. We want to win this tournament. 7 backups in. This wasn't as bad, and I read it. We played a game on Saturday. No, it was Sunday, so it was really soon. But get the best guys out there. I know Maxi can't get out there. I know maybe Thiago Martins you don't want out there. But
I did think that if
Alonso is young.
I think if you put Alonso Martinez in there for the last 10 minutes, he would have scored 2 goals. I really thought
I don't think
that
what
they were
going
to
do. He
do.
was on the bench.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think some guys didn't fly. I don't know, but I'm assuming some people didn't fly out.
Martinez is, bro. I'm golden boot. I am playing against the pits. But yeah, you made me lose my train of thought. But yeah, I just thought that if Alonso Martinez would have even come in, he would have made such a difference just for a few minutes. Because I think just like the Justin Hack point, Alonso Martinez isn't scared of anybody, and I think he could have destroyed that back line. Unfortunately, we got stuck with Munsev Bakra.
Let's take some comments. Nah, bro, he's right on Bakra. He's so bad. He doesn't belong in the same field as other guys. Remember the game against New England? He was the worst player on the field.
He really was. And that's against New England. They're pretty terrible themselves.
Yeah, flagship MLS team.
You see, some of these don't make sense when we're
lost the part of the conversation. Sorry, Erman. All right, so you want to talk about Cincy. You want to be positive.
Well, I talked about Gray and how great of a package he is. And also, I just want to counter. I think I countered it already, but let's talk about it. It was just like, in that game, we played 3 in the back. We played, I think, 5, and then it was like 3, 5. Why am I missing on math? 2 or something like that. And I just thought, what a game plan! It was just, I actually really loved the way we went. I thought that because you had so many people high, we were able to have that press be very, very effective. Even with Kean Parks coming out of the game, like we still made multiple opportunities. From there, and I think a big part of that was Hannes Wolf, who played on the right. For some people who think he'll never play on the right again, you know who you are. But he played really well on the right, and he played really well on the left. But also, I just want to point out that like I really enjoyed that press. I really enjoyed that when we got the ball, we made opportunities. I think every game before Cincy, we were scoring goals off mistakes, and Alonso Martinez is like king of like scoring off mistakes. But actual like formations and getting the ball to the right player, we haven't seen that really in any of the games. Even the game where we scored the most goals against Atlanta, a lot of it was mistakes that Atlanta made, and then we were able to score goals off those opportunities. But actually passing the ball to each other and making a play to score a goal, Cincy game was the first game that we saw that all season. We just didn't score all of them. We hit tons of crossbars. But I'm just saying, our expected goals must have been the highest it could have been this entire season. Or maybe not, because Atlanta had.
What I'm saying is the only goal we scored that game was not actually, like, it got deflected. And for the Julian Fernandez goal was like a deflection off a defender.
Yeah, well, I mean, but Maxi Morales almost had that ball. And what I'm talking about is a lot of the missed shots were perfectly planned plays.
Yeah.
It just didn't. They unfortunately just didn't go in. But what was our expected goals? 2.44?
Yeah.
Look at that. That's pretty high.
Yeah.
My point is proven. I liked that team last week. Or a few days ago now.
I mean, yes, but I still think you like that team and you're saying we played great offensively. We only scored 1 goal. So, like...
No, but you're taking it out of context. We hit the crossbars. They have one of the best goalkeepers in the league. He doesn't have a mustache this year, so you might not recognize him. But he's a really great goalkeeper.
One thing I do want to talk about, Alonso Martinez. Misses
I knew you were gonna talk about this.
another because you love to talk about. You gotta get, if you're gonna give credit to him, we also gotta ding him for what he does wrong. Second missed PK this season. Are we getting worried a little? Is there anybody else we'd prefer to take these shots?
Maxi Morales?
No.
No, I don't think so. I think he's in his head a little bit. I think.
Well, the interesting thing is he missed it. I forgot who it was against. He missed it, then he made it the following game, I think it was.
Yes,
and then he missed it again. So now I'm like, I don't know, man.
The announcer said it. He's always made it in on the left. He misses on the right. Goalkeeper went on the left.
Yeah, I think he shot all his penalties to the left, if I'm not mistaken.
The one he missed, he shot to the right.
Oh, okay, got it.
And this one he also missed to the right. So it says Martinez is 2 for 4. Yeah, bro, 2 for 4. That's not so bad.
50%, bro.
I mean, it's early.
Come back with a test to your mother at 50% and tell me if she's gonna be happy with you. You think I expect him to be happy with this type of homework?
I mean, he looks upset, bro. Martinez gives me the Kobe Bryant vibe, where my man went and tried 50 PKs after the game. He looked furious. I think he has a chance to win Golden Boot if he can get his PKs up.
He said front office says they want to be an MLS flagship team. We make no signings, get knocked out. And now it all makes sense. Thank you, Herman. I agree. And I agree. We say we're fighting for Cubs. We're never. Then why are we not fighting? Why is everybody who we need to be out there not out there?
Yeah, and if there's the most winnable cup for us this season, it was probably this one.
Yeah,
not every MLS team is playing in it. We had an opportunity here, and unfortunately, we let it go in the first round. If we're the only upset this round, it's gonna be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it is.
I'm here trying to talk good about with Cincy, and you guys keep being negative Nancy's.
Okay,
no, I appreciate it. People join this to vent, so I get it. Are we the only miss?
So far, it could change this night, Herman.
Yeah, but every game yesterday was won by an MLS team.
Yeah, won by an MLS team.
And I think there's only like 2 more games left tonight, so there's a good chance that we'll be the only one because we are supposed to be the best league in the States.
Torres says, "What's up with this new O'Neal guy? Signing came way out of left field."
Oh yeah, we've been gone for so long. We forgot about the Australian.
Is he good? I don't know.
I don't know.
No, but his position is interesting because he plays the midfield, right? I think central mid defender.
Yes, he's supposed to be the 6.
Do I kind of get? Do I kind of not get? Do we have other problems? Probably.
Yes. No, but we've seen when Kean Parks is off the pitch, our midfield has collapsed. And he's not going to replace... But
we like Shore. So what I'm saying is we like Shore, we like Maxi, and we like Keaton. So then we kind of have that midfield. So I get it. Maxi's older.
No, actually, I don't agree with you on Shore. Do I like Shore? Yes. But some games, Shore is just like...
I don't agree.
He's there playing, but he's not a Impact X type player where he's going to go and turn the game around. Kean Parks can turn a game around. Maxi Morales can turn a game around. James Sands, who used to be on this team, made sure that teams didn't turn the game around on us. And we need a player like that. I think there is a difference between players who are good and players who are impactful, change the way of a game's going. And I don't think Shore, because of his age, because of his lack of experience, is just not there yet.
I beg to differ on this.
How are you? Where? I mean, Shore has played solid a couple games, but are you going to say Shore... Is there any game where you go, man, the reason we won was because of Shore this season?
Well, how impactful is a central defensive midfielder going to be? Like
James Sands was huge. James Sands is the reason we...
I know, but you're saying, did he win us the game? Well, the only time I can say James Sands won us the game is when we played against Inter Miami and literally scored the goal to tie the game.
No,
you know
but
what I mean?
James Sands also makes sure we don't lose the game.
Yes.
But then it also leads to wins, right? Like, if we have more goals than the other team, and the reason the team doesn't have that many goals is because
you
of
just
James
talked
Sands.
about last year being the least amount of clean sheets.
Yes.
Who was on our team last year? James Sands. So what I'm saying is you have to defend that. One thing we didn't mention though, Kean Parks. He's been injured a lot. So maybe it is good to have this O'Neal kid in, right? We don't know if this injury keeps occurring. Maybe that's a problem, right? Like if he's going to stay with a lingering injury. First he had the blood clot. I don't know what the injury is now. I think it's his ankle if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not 100% sure.
I think it's his ankle. But yeah, that's a big issue, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it is good to have another midfielder in the mix if Kean Parks' injury is going to linger throughout the season.
That's true. I don't think he's there to replace Kean Parks, though.
No,
I think he's there to play a side of Kean Parks. I think he plays more of a 6 than an 8.
No, I understand. What I'm saying is, like, at least to have that midfield.
Mike said it's undisclosed foot injury.
Oh, okay.
So we don't know where yet in the foot is.
Jeremias says it's time for some sackings. Ooh.
Sacking of players?
Yeah, are you saying sacking of players or sacking of coach? That's not happening for the coach.
I don't think that's happening either.
That's too soon.
Yeah, although I would say, I guess a question to you, and kind of back to Mike's question earlier, is the lack of urgency for 70 minutes, right? Until Tani gets kicked out of the game and they start, maybe we should start trying now that we're down a player. Do you blame the lack of urgency on Jensen? Because, like, isn't it a manager's job to motivate the team?
One thing I'll say, I think it's always easier to say there's a lack of urgency when your team hasn't scored a goal. Like you get me? Like, for me, I feel like it's kind of sometimes a cop-out by us analyzers or people watching the game and be like, oh, they didn't have enough urgency. That's why they sucked. They didn't play well hard. It's like, no, they probably did, but it was hard to get past that back line. Really is the real issue.
I don't know, man. I feel like you could see effort with your eyes. And, like, I didn't think of that team playing with enough intensity. Because I think intensity and urgency are kind of go hand in hand. And I didn't see intensity from this team on this game. I saw intensity last game. I didn't see it this game. And so, like, when I saw that intensity last week, I go, man, Jensen has done a great job with this team this week to play against a top 3 team. But if you don't see intensity this game, how is it not Jensen's fault?
Well, you also got to think it's a 3-day layover. While they basically didn't come home, I think they might have come home for a day. The game was Sunday. You have Monday and Tuesday to prepare, and you're out back on Wednesday. Like, that is probably the quickest turnaround we've ever seen for this team. Usually, at least it's like 4 days. This was literally 3 days. So there's got to be, and they went to Cincinnati, different time zones. They're probably all out of whack, their bodies.
I mean, it wasn't the same players, but
I mean, it was a majority of the same players, though.
Was it?
It was a good mix, but
Moonsef hasn't played minutes all year. My man was full of energy. Couldn't do nothing.
Well, let's see what other. So Jeremias clarifies, and David Lee and Brad Sims. I think there should be some heat on David Lee at this point.
I think so too.
Because we keep talking about these signings, and I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Oh, I saw actually a comment earlier that we missed on Instagram that said KDB could bring experience to this team, which is something we do need.
Yo, so you tweeted out. Google got you, bro. And that's how I know you never read the article.
Usually I'm not a headline guy. Usually when I see a headline that seems a little... I'm not a fake news guy. I read the articles.
I don't know if I believe
Google
that.
But Google all of a sudden started sending me notifications. Google has never sent me notifications in my life. Bro, we're in Colombia. I'm about to get in the shower. I see this thing. I'll run out of the shower just to tell him, yo, they signed with the Red Bulls. Go post a tweet real quick. Then I read the article, and it was like, there's some teams interested. On top of the list is the Red Bulls. And then
this is what
10 minutes later, I get the same notification about the Chicago Fire. I'm like, yo, Google, what are you doing?
Google's using ChatGPT, bro, to write those notifications. That's really what it is.
That is. They see what I Google, and then they're like, nah, this guy wants to know about KDB. Let's just make him click. That actually makes a lot of sense because Google's saying that their search is down because everyone's using like AI to like look up stuff. So maybe yeah, that's what's happening. Also,
Mike just had a good point. They just went into PK's MLS team, and they're playing at home. That's even worse. You playing at home and you lose? All right. If they lose, I'm feeling better.
Berman said, every other MLS team won.
Well, no, right now we're about to see what happens.
Oh, yeah.
He's saying before that every other MLS team.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's see Philly lose. That'll make us feel better.
All right.
Are we done with Cincy? I think the only thing we got to do is give love to Matt Freese, but we do this every week.
It feels
those saves were huge.
They were
huge. Big game. He earned that clean sheet. Just overall great game from Matt Freese.
When I was listening to Blue Balls. I haven't listened to the most recent episodes of Blue Balls. I'm a bit behind in the podcast world because of our family issues. But it was a few weeks ago or a couple weeks ago that I think Trey mentioned Matt Freese hasn't been as good as his expectations were. That like expected goals scored versus like where it is, that he was pretty on average. Just like the same thing we were saying about Luis Barraza, right? Like he was saving the ones he was supposed to save, but the ones he wasn't supposed to save, he never saved them.
Got it.
And I don't know. I was like thinking about that. The stats say it, right? So, but from your eye, just a question that came to me was like, to me, Matt Freese has been playing fantastic, and maybe I'm not seeing it, but I know there's been some miscommunication between Martins and Freese, and so sometimes it doesn't look like Freese is in the right place. But do you at all have any concerns with Matt Freese? And I know he had a great game against Cincy, so maybe I don't know if that's tainted you, or have you ever before that game had any concerns about his play?
I wouldn't say huge concerns because he bails us out a lot, but I do see certain things where I'm like, could there have been a save there? Or could we have gone at things? But I still feel like it's such a step up from anybody else. Even from, and I think somebody wrote in our comments, why don't you guys have your debation station? Make it who's better, Matt Freese or Sean Johnson? And for me, I feel like Matt Freese has already toppled him. Like, even from all those historical years that Sean Johnson had for us, I still feel like Matt Freese is a better goalkeeper, in my opinion. But we can we should
actually have that.
Yeah, we should save that.
Because I don't know what the statistics actually are.
Exactly.
I'd be interested
I think we have to look at the statistics, and I'm pretty sure Sean Johnson will probably have better statistics overall, because he's had that longer time frame to play. But let's have that debation station next NYCFC versus Toronto game. I think that'll be a good one.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, let's get into our next game.
Wait, one more thing here. Oh, no. I was looking at the stats.
What stats?
Sorry, not the stats.
The comments. Herman says, y'all going to game Saturday. Might hit stands for pre-game Modelo. We're going.
I'm down. Yo.
No kids?
No kids.
Oh, but we might have to do Mother's Day celebration.
Mike has a good point. Tough debate when you have Chanot and Callens in front of you versus what we have as a back line. That makes a big difference.
But there's probably some stats that we could like. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
But to Herman's thing, are we gonna grab Modelo's before the game?
Bro, since I've come back from Colombia, I'm a completely different person. You know what I did today after work?
What'd you do?
I went to the beach.
You have a beach by you?
Yeah.
You went to Orchard Beach? Bro, go home. I don't trust you anymore.
All right. A few things. I went to Playlands Beach in Rye. Had dinner there. No one's there right now. It's cold.
I know.
I was
that's
chilling.
Probably a nasty
but also,
beach.
have you been to Orchard Beach? I actually went to Orchard Beach like a month ago. It was cold, so there wasn't a lot of people, but it was fire, bro. They was out there grilling. The beach was. I'm not going in the water. But the playground, the handball, the b-ball courts were brand new. Yo, you should check it out. I would go to Orchard Beach again.
I'm never going to Orchard Beach. I went there as a kid. I'm not going to Orchard Beach. And I can't believe you're saying that after we just went to Cartagena, the best beaches in the world.
I understand.
You're wildin', dude.
Bro, I spent the past 3 days since we've been back looking up beaches I could live near. I can't afford any of it. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go hang out the beaches near me. And the closest one is the Playland Beach. It's nice. I mean, it's nice
to
to
Playland
chill.
in years.
Bro, I went last summer.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's still
mad. I didn't realize how hood it was. I think we was hood back then, but I think it's the same rides too. I'm like, yo, these things haven't been fixed in like 20. Yo,
I heard it was nicer now.
bro, I think I went like it might have been like Easter last year. It was like a holiday, so it was packed. I was like, this is terrible, and the rides look
Danky.
they look danky, not that safe.
You know what I was thinking? While we were on that Cartagena beaches. I was thinking about Talus Magno. Don't ask me why.
We got problems, bro.
Talus Magno was in my head, and I'm like, now I know why he never presses. Dude is in Brazil by a beach, playing his beach volleyball that he loves so much, shirtless. You think he wanted to worry about Nick Cushing's press? My bro wanted to be flashy, score some goals, get the ladies, and be on the beach.
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I get it.
These guys don't understand. These guys from the Netherlands, like Pascal Janssen. I want you to, bro. I'm from the tropical islands.
Yeah, and think about it. Your days off, you're chilling in New Jersey. Yo, I'm trying to get back to Brazil ASAP, homie.
Hey, we got so sidetracked. I'm sorry for the people who are still here. NYCFC versus Montreal. What do you know? Break it down, because I haven't done any research.
Well, what I do know was our head-to-head against Montreal. We have 13 wins against them. CF Montreal has 3 wins and 5 draws. So we have consistently beaten Montreal. They are also last in the standings with a
0
record
wins.
of 0 wins, 3 draws, 8 losses.
How is that possible? Them and the LA Galaxy. How can't you win a game? This is MLS. And you actually had... How many home games have they played? I want to see how many home games they played. Sorry. I got sidetracked. Oh, they only played 3 home games? All right, my bad. You guys got some time. No, but that's still pretty bad. How the hell have they not won a game? That's crazy to me.
Bro, I mean, they'll still would have been in the pits today. Just finding that out. I don't know, but they're bad. So we should win. You would think we should win.
Yeah.
I don't think, we didn't play Alonso Martinez. We didn't play Maxi Morales. I would think we didn't play Kevin O'Toole. I'm not sure if he's going to be ready to come back yet, honestly. But we got 16-year-old Cavallo out there, and he's not that young. But we got a young team. Hopefully, Kean Perks can come back, and we can win this game. And the team is not heavily favored. They are favored, though. They are a negative 140 to win, plus 270 for the draw, plus 380 for CF Montreal. So
minus 140, that's a steal.
That
for
does feel
NYCFC, for this last place team, we're playing at home. We still have, I think, one of the better home records.
We barely beat Toronto. Just want to point that out there.
What's
Toronto is 14th place, and we won 1-0 2 weeks ago.
Are you up on this team or you're not? Because one day you're happy with this team, you're like, we just had the greatest game against Cincinnati. You're confusing me. And one thing I will say, this team's been inconsistent.
Yes.
And you could blame it on the youth, but they fired Nick Cushing because the team was inconsistent. Literally, that's what they said.
Yes.
This team is still inconsistent to this day.
I mean, but we're 7th right now.
Yeah, that's basically the description of inconsistency. There's literally 15 teams in the East.
I think we're consistently mid. That's what I think.
So we should beat this Montreal team is the bottom line.
We should. But my big concern with this team is, do we get... Montreal has always been more of a defensive team. You know what I mean? Like, I've never seen Montreal have big, high-power offense. And if you look at their top goal scorer, Owusu with 2 goals.
Damn, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. So what are they going to do? They're probably going to play, and they're away, right? So what are we going to get? We're going to get the pits all over again, but in New York. You're going to see
a very defensive team, 4 or 5 in the back, playing back, waiting for you to say, get past our defense. And can we do it? Is it just that we didn't have Maxi Morales, Alonso Martinez there, and we can easily get past the back line? Or do we see more of the same today? And I'm hoping Alonso Martinez and Maxi are the difference makers, and they can get past a professional soccer team. Let's do some some comments. Jeremiah says, there is consistently shit. Herman says the up and downs are killer, but Pascal doing a lot more with a lot less.
100% agree. I still don't put this team's lack of consistency and our losses usually on Jensen. There was one game there I thought Jensen played some funny subs, but I can't remember.
Brian on Instagram said Pascal said he was ready for this turnaround. Doesn't mean the players were ready. That's where he got you. Diosmigo said Freeze is a beast. Can't agree more.
100%.
And then on Instagram, this New York's Finest says this team makes me want to jump off several New York City world-renowned bridges.
Yo, honestly, sometimes I do agree with the consistency and with the lack of consistency. Sometimes I'm like, yo, why? Maybe we should just skip this season. Sometimes I'm just like, this is tough. It's sometimes a tough game to watch. When this game was about to go to stoppage time, bro, I was like, I can't watch 30 more minutes of this nonsense. I was sad that we lost, but relieved that the game was over because it was a terrible game to watch. It was,
yeah. It's so hard after watching Champions League. Oh my gosh, you had like the greatest game yesterday, and then you see this product, and you're like, damn it, man, why can't we be better? You know what I mean?
Because we don't have KDB. Let's get some KDB, please.
No, we need the Brazilian kid from Barcelona. He's a beast, bro. Oh, he's so good. What's your score prediction?
I think we gotta win this game. There was another game we lost that we said that we played a really bad team recently and we lost to them, didn't we?
Was it New England? Did we lose to them?
Yeah,
no, I don't think we
did
lost
lose
to them.
to England. Yes, we did. We did lose to New England, and we thought we were gonna beat them easily, and we were incorrect about that.
Yeah, we lost 2-0.
Yeah.
Granted, I think they got Campana back that game, or I don't even remember, to be honest.
Yes. I'm gonna say we're gonna win. I'm a little hesitant about giving the team right now 2-3 goals. If you look at our past 5 games, we haven't had more than a goal, including the Pitts game, right? So if we say Pitts, Cincy, Toronto, New England, Revs, every game we've only won 1-0. So I still, in Cincy, we saw a team that was playing much more together, and I thought made a lot of opportunities, but they are not finishing them, and which is scary because that gives me Cushing vibes from last year. So to be confident, or just to be cautious, I'm gonna say 1-0. What are your thoughts?
Because our defensive backline just had a terrible game. Granted, I know it's not all our starters. I'm gonna go. I think we need a floodgate game. We need a game where we score a lot. We should have scored 2 against Cincy with that PK. We also hit the crossbar, I think, once. I say we win 3-1.
What?
I think we need one of those breakout games where we score a lot. It's a Yankee Stadium game, right?
Yes,
I feel like we always score a lot at Yankee Stadium. It's just, I don't know why it happens, but it does happen. I could see this being like a 3-1 game and we show out.
I don't know what teams you be watching, bro.
Sulamai said, "Hey guys, what are your current opinions on Justin Hack and how he's playing?"
Fantastic.
Fun to watch. Good guy. Like to see this.
Deserves to be probably the most consistent player on our team this season. Because he's been playing
so many different positions.
Exactly. So he's been playing every game, I think. And when he's played midfield and when he's played backline, he's been solid in both and been really good in the back line. And so, yeah, I think Hack is having
It's so crazy to think that Hack, towards the end of last season, was like, yo, if I'm not getting my starts, I'm out. Like, he basically kind of said that in a way more polite way because it's Justin Hack.
Yes.
But, like, to see that he's had that full turnaround and find, like, it's just so well deserved for him. Yes. And, like, you can't just but feel happy for Justin Hack because, like, he deserves it. And he's being asked to do a lot. Yes. He really is asked to do so many different roles, and he does it effectively. So.
And I thought today, I mean, I know it's a tier 2 team, but I thought he did really, really well on the midfield. I was like, wow, this guy's playing fantastic.
Dead Milkman says, how long before Keane or Wolf get benched?
I think. Well, I don't think either of them will get
they're not getting benched, buddy.
Yeah, Milkman. I don't know what you're talking about, homie.
But he also said, I'm so happy I bet on Knicks and not on NYCFC.
I would say that Wolf, the past few games, has been really solid. He's really turned it around the past few games. Can he stay consistent? I hope so. And I like him on the right. You know who I'm talking to. And
I don't know who you're talking to. Do you want to give us the inside information?
No, bro. It's an inside joke between me and the guy who's listening right now. Jesus.
You only have 179 people on the stream who would like to know at 180, including me.
And I think Kean Parks is our best midfielder.
But the only way that Kean Parks gets benched is if he can't stay healthy, which is actually a problem.
Yeah. We need him to not be on the bench, Milky.
We need to wrap up. Post 90 says Danny's got to let us know where to get the kit he has on. That's fire. That shit's fire.
Oh, actually, I will tell you. South Bronx United. I was volunteering as a coach there, and they got a cafe right next to Yankee Stadium. And in that cafe, so like, where's the bar that they mentioned earlier?
Stands? Yeah.
Right across the street from Stands, one more block to the right, or if you're standing in front of Stands, one block to the left, like going towards the BCC. You go one more block. There's a coffee shop there. They sell these jerseys. South Bronx United, a really good non-for-profit in the Bronx that gives kids from low economic areas the ability to play soccer for free. Because I think a big thing here in the States is that only people with money can join soccer clubs.
Yeah.
And so they allow you to do it. And if you're really good, they actually have like a team that plays competitively. I wasn't coaching that team because I'm terrible. But yeah, bro, this jersey is fire. And they have a few others. I absolutely love that organization. So check them out.
Cool. That's very nice.
We got another comment there if you want, or you just want to end the podcast.
I'm trying to end the podcast. I'm going to bed, guy. Griffin says, I was dying when they started playing Bye 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 as Sana made his way to the locker room. That's a good troll job. I gotta give respect to that.
Fantastic. Sometimes you gotta love these organizations, and when they're smaller and they could just do stuff like that.
Yeah, be reckless.
Oh, and I love that the soccer ball fell into the river. Yo, what I thought was so funny, I know you want to go to sleep, but just one more second here. Our NYCFC admin is kind of like trolling the team and is like, we lost the ball to the river. I'm like, bro, at least they're playing on a soccer field. Like, chill out with the stadium jokes. It was a cool background, though. I thought that was a really cool place.
That stadium is epic, dude. To play right by the water like that, it's fire.
Yeah.
All right, games coming up. Oh, look, South Bronx United also hosts annual...
Oh, yeah, they host an annual tournament right across the street from Yankee Stadium. Actually, I just got an email recently that's happening soon. Maybe we should get a team. Maybe we should get a press team.
No, let's get a right here, us in the chat. Who wants to join the NYCFC City Boys team? We're going to be terrible, and we're going to lose every game, but we're going to do it together. And then we're going to have the guys who want to replace the other brothers talk shit about us because we were so terrible.
They could come in that game after we're injured from there.
Jeremiah says, I'm joining. All right, we got to go to bed. Yo, but I do want to give a shout out to all the people who were they were asking about us these last couple weeks we were gone. I appreciate you guys. We're back.
We'll be back. We'll be better than NYCFC and we'll be more consistent. There were a lot of things that came up, so we couldn't make it.
Yeah.
But we're going to be consistent. We're going to be here. We're not going anywhere. Appreciate the shout out. And put in those applications for those subs. We need some subs sometimes. Sometimes we get blood clots too.
Peace out, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.